Right here on that one, we actually have Michael Trasso. Now, I was on top and I marked out Michael Trasso on dark horses for this tournament. Not a lot of people know who he is. He's going up against Andre Nascimento dos Santos of Alliance. But Trasso, man, he had an absolute war with Dante Leon 2 years ago at the multi-bands in the black belt division. And that was, for me, the match that put him on the map. And then I look him up and I realize that he's been wrestling his whole life. He's been doing submissions his whole life. He's a black belt from Grisu Maitar. That's a pretty good combination, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you get someone who's been wrestling their whole life, obviously. We're going to talk about wrestling. But the truth is, whether it's wrestling or judo or any combat athlete, you get them in here, you do some submissions. Of course, the jiu-jitsu is going to need to pick up very quickly to compete at a high level. But the spirit and the grit and the resilience is there, and you don't have to question that. So, man, that's the hard part to teach. Once you add the jiu-jitsu in, you know you're going to have a great fighter.
It is something it's hard to teach, right? It's something that's developed, but only through experience. And, you know, I think that the wrestling competition scene offers that, you know, in spades. It's
Absolutely.
like, of course, you can do the same thing in jiu-jitsu. You can test yourself. You can develop all those attributes. But it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, is it somewhat intensified in wrestling?
Oh, absolutely. I would say the difference is that you'll find jiu-jitsu rooms that have that intensity, but they're a little bit few and far between. I think you guys have been out to Easy Press, so you can watch that and you know there's a lot of intensity there, right? But in wrestling, I've never been in a wrestling room myself, and I've been in a lot of them, and I've never been in one that had anything less than a level 10, right? Never. And people are throwing up and puking and crying and leaving and going home. It's like you get with it or you go home, you know? And so when you get that and you bring them into jiu-jitsu and you teach them some stuff, man, they're gonna put on a show. They're gonna put on a war.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking high school. Like, we'd have all our football players in high school wrestling room, they all quit. So we felt a lot of pride about that.
It's not for the weak, that's for sure.
Almost to a fault sometimes, but I built some strong minds, that's for sure.
Trasso kind of trying to find his way through this position, but that is an extremely tight guard from bottom, and I like the way that Andre is using his frames in conjunction with that reverse De La Riva, because it denies Trasso the ability to make that important chest-to-chest contact, right?
I find it to be so difficult in NoGi, this reverse De La Riva position. It just, you know, you think you're attacking the chest, then the legs back inside. You think you pass the legs, then the frames come in tight on the shoulders. It's like he's doing a very good job on bottom of keeping that ankle nice and tight as well.
I like the way that Trasso, using that hand on the side of the head, completely shut down the Kiss of the Dragon, the inside. It just stopped that invert underneath the legs, which of course is one of the primary attacks from this position, right? Yes. It's a very simple detail, but very effective in just shutting the door.
Yes, it is. It's very effective, and but then from there, obviously, you have to find. Oh, nice. You have to find a way to then free your foot. Right? So shut down the attack, but then now we're in this kind of stalemate position. You have to get that foot out, so it's really challenging. But did a good job here. Now he's free to see if he can create some action. Start getting a little more explosive, especially that wrestling style. Back in Brazil. I see he was doing such a good job with his right hand of stapling the arm down to the mat, so on the bottom he couldn't get that grip with his left hand. But now it's back in. Now it's tough.
Yeah, Nascimento just really comfortable in this position, and frustrating, isn't it, for Trasso, that leg, that one grip around his ankle, it's killing all of his movement. He can't go to the side, he can't go forward, and now, of course, look at this. Nascimento comes up. I saw scramble out of bounds, but gets the advantage for Nascimento, so it's now 2-0 in advantage here, 0-0 on the actual scoreboard.
Get a quick takedown.
Yeah, I mean, he could win it, you know, it's still time.
Oh, I think that's going to be 2.
Yes, it is. Wow, Trasso seems to have stolen this match in the last 15 seconds with that last gasp takedown.
That was beautiful. He went double and then sprawled in the double, threw him right over. That was beautiful.
Well, there was a strong risk that Trasso was going to walk away the loser, but that shows why you got to keep fighting until the very end, because the last 15 seconds, that takedown right there on the restart, put him back in the game.
It's gotta be hard for Nascimento. Man,
Yeah.
you control a match for 10 minutes. That's hard.
But maybe it's a criticism, and I'm not want to throw shade at any competitors here, but it is a criticism that if you play the advantages game and you just try to squeeze out the win like that, then if you get scored on, then it's all for nothing. So it kind of, it's an incentive, isn't it, to really stamp your authority on the match, put some points on the scoreboard, get a good lead going, so that if somebody does score back on you, well, it doesn't matter so much.